do you like about them?
Everything. You know, they're experienced, they're talented, they're smart. They score a lot of points. They have great leadership. You know, they're a team that, you know, there's a reason why everybody picked them to be a national championship type team when the season started. And there's nothing that I've seen that leads me to think otherwise.
Geno, what does Sabrina's game rank sort of at the point where, say, Sue or Diana or any great guard you saw? You know, at that point in their college careers, where's her game kind of compare and contrast to them?
I think she has a very similar impact on her team that those players had. You know, she's able to conjure up whatever she needs in any particular possession to help her team. You know, whether it's a defensive play, whether it's a rebound, you know, an assist, a big three, you know, some kind of play that has to be made. She knows, you know, she knows when it has to be made, and she, you know, she has the ability and she has the kind of great player mentality to make that play and inspire her teammates, which is what those great players were always great at, you know, making their teammates way better. And her teammates are better to begin with, but she makes them even better.
Are they the best team you've played so far this year, I think?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Baylor was pretty good. They're just different, you know, and they're different than South Carolina. They just, you know, they're a Final Four team, you know, with a lot of players back. And they're a very confident team that most parts of the game they have under control. You know, there may be teams in the country that are bigger than them, that maybe are more athletic than them, maybe quicker than them. Who knows? But they have enough things offensively that you have to play exceptionally well to keep them from scoring, and then you've got to make a ton of shots to score enough points to beat them, and that's why, you know, they make things difficult for you, because you can't say, well, if we do this, they won't score. That's really not true. The reason why they don't score is they miss shots. So it's hard to take away, you know, aspects of their game, because you know, they've got a talented bunch, and they're pretty deep. We played a bunch of these kids years ago. You know, we played them a couple times, I think, and you know, circumstances were a little bit different then, but you could see then that they were going to be really, you know, really good.
Yeah, what do you remember about that? Because they were a pretty low seed, I remember, in Bridgeport, and you know, they were early.
Yeah, it was early. You know, it was early in their careers. You know, so for them to be where they were, I think they beat Maryland that day in one of the games, and it was a big upset. Everybody thought, but you could see then that, I mean, they just weren't ready for us. You know, we just had, you know, too many good players, and they were too young to be able to deal with what we had. But you could see that they were only going to get better and better and better, and they've recruited really well, and they've added the right pieces. And you know, basketball, no matter how much it changes, you know, basketball's always about, if you have the best guards, you have a chance to have the best team. And when you don't have the best guards, you're always going to struggle against the teams that have the best guards. So, you know, we've been fortunate here over the years. We've had some great guards, and they're in that situation right now, and that's why they're able to do what they're doing.
Expecting a sellout.
There's games on defense where you got to say, okay, shut her down, let her go. Or is it just...
You know, whenever you're playing against, you know, someone who's going to have the ball in their hands that much, who can make plays for herself and for others, you know, that's always a decision that you're going to have to make, and it can't always be, you know, one decision for the whole game. A lot of times it has to be, you know, change up this, change up that, try to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't think you're going to get away with, let's play it this way and be able to stay like that for the entire game. I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
What do you want to see tomorrow from Meg and Olivia defensively going up against two really strong but different players?
I mean, you kind of have an idea, you know, what you're going to get on Megan's end. You know, she's been pretty consistent throughout the season. So that part of it, you know, I'm not as concerned about it. You know, the unknowns for us going into the game are, you know, how do we match up? You know, how does Olivia match up? You know, how does Kristen Williams match up? You know, how do our two freshmen come in? You know, are we where they were when they played us, you know, a few years ago, and have to answer all those questions. So that's why you play these games at this time of the year, you know. You want to kind of get a feel for, you know, where's everybody. But I don't know that we can win the game tomorrow night unless all of our key guys play really, really well. I don't think we can afford to have three of them, you know, play okay and two of them play great. I don't think we can afford that. I think all of our players have to perform at a real high level tomorrow.
Is 3 games in 5 nights tough for them, or do you think that they'll be young and excited to play on a game like this?
For them?
Yeah, for them.
I think if they were playing just anybody tomorrow night, it may be like, wow, you know. But I think the adrenaline and coming into this building, I don't think they'll have any problem, you know. From what I've seen of their scores, I don't think they broke a sweat in those 2 games. So I think they'll be well rested and excited about tomorrow night's game.
How about this building? Expected to be a sellout. How much will you rely on your crowd to kind of maybe get you off to a good start?
I hope, you know, I would expect it on campus, you know, with the students here, I would expect it to be sold out. And that certainly does play a big part, you know, in what we do. We've had a lot of success here. You know, we've traditionally played well. We've used the crowd to get us. We've energized the crowd. It's worked both ways, and hopefully tomorrow will be one of those fun nights on a Monday night. You know, on national television, 2 really good teams, and I mean, that's college basketball, right? That's what you hope for.
Geno, for years now, right through Nafisa last year, you've come toward this part of the season saying, like, we have a player that looks like the national player of the year. But is there a kid on your roster right now who reached that level?
This year?
Not necessarily. This year? Or
I don't know. I don't know. I think you know, that story hasn't been written yet. You know, one of the I think the National Player of the Year types that we've had could come into a game like tomorrow night and get 30 and get 15 rebounds or get 12 assists and then defend the other team's best player. And I don't know that we've had anybody so far show us that that's who they are, either for tomorrow night or for next Friday or next Monday, whatever. Can that happen? Maybe. But I don't. The ones, the National Player of the Year types that we've had up to this point, you knew when they were freshmen that's what they were going to be, because they showed you that when they were freshmen. And the roster that we have right now is more a collection of good players. I don't know that any of our players, when they were freshmen, you went, that's their next superstar right there. So they're all in the process of becoming something, but I don't know what that is and when that's going to happen.
How about Kristen in particular? Her potential, I mean, we saw a flash from her at Notre Dame early on. Maybe some people said then what you just said, like, wow, this kid could be a star.
Yeah.
What have you seen in her evolution, and what's next for her, do you think?
Kristen has those moments like you're talking about. There's not enough of those moments, and when she does have them, that's when we're a really, really good team. For circumstances, whatever it is, we've become a team that has to rely too much on jump shots. And she's not been shooting the ball well this year. So that takes away something that we really have come to depend on. So we have to figure out other ways to score. So those moments like the Notre Dame game, there's just not been enough of those. There just haven't been. And it's pretty telling on our team too. Why we can't afford to have anybody not play great is, Sabrina has about 100 more assists than anybody on our team. That was always us. And that's not us this year. The ball doesn't move like it used to. Not as many people make plays. Not as many people finish plays. So a good pass doesn't always turn into an assist because the ball is not going in. So we really don't have that ability to just, methodically take teams apart. Boom, 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 boom. And everybody that touches it makes a play. Either, the players that touch it are too young, too inexperienced, not being used to being in that spot where they got to finish. So it's more so than most years that I can remember. It's got to be, okay, we got to play this game 5-on-5, and that's how we got to win. As opposed to, remember a couple years ago, whether it was at Notre Dame one time or whether it was here against Louisville, Gabby's going to win this game by herself. Or Feast is going to get 35 in this game tonight, and she's going to win this game by herself. We've had enough of those players over the years that it took some of the pressure off some of the other guys. This year the pressure's on all of them because they all have to play great. That's why you need superstars.
Speaking of Kristen, I just saw her go. She has a jacket. I just went back.
She hasn't practiced. Yeah, she hasn't practiced. She's got a flu that she's been told to stay away, but now she's finally allowed to be around people. She's had the flu defensively most of the season, where she hasn't been
Around people.
Been around people.
How about
So we've just diagnosed her with it's really the flu now.
How about having Jamel back, at least on an interim basis, and how fortunate are you to have someone with her experiences, to be able to fill in like she can?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that's the scenario, but having her here made it easy for us to transition into that. It's not something, believe me, it's not something that Jamel wanted to do, campaigned to do. Matter of fact, she avoided me every chance she got, even thinking that I might ask her to do it. So I think she's doing it as a favor. Like, all right, I'll help you out because you're in a tight spot, but that's it. That's what her. But there's no denying that when she's here and she's on the court, she has an impact. That's undeniable. So we're very lucky. The players are very lucky as well.
Geno, do you know Serena personally?
Yeah.
Could you tell me about what strikes you about her?
Well, if she didn't give us the impression that she was going to make her decision her sophomore year in college or where to go to school, I've never seen a kid wait that long to make a decision. We might have still kept recruiting her. But when you saw her play in high school, you could see everything you see today. She just had that aura about her, that way about her, the way she carries herself, the way she drives herself and the way she drives her team and her teammates. And she's I use this all the time. There are kids who play basketball, and then there's basketball players, and she's a basketball player, through and through. Every part of her body, and she's a tough kid. When you rebound as much as she does, that says something. She's an emotional leader. She studies the game. She's going to have an interesting career going forward from college. But I would say in the last 4 years, she's probably kind of redefined what's possible for a point guard.
It would have been easy for her to come out last year, and certainly she was talented enough for her to make a decision, I don't know, for whatever she wanted to win a national championship. She felt she needed to mature more year. What does that say about her maturity to realize that? And
sometimes that says a lot about where you are in school. Sometimes the kid's in a place where it doesn't matter to me whether I stay here or not. Winning a national championship doesn't matter to me. Being around my teammates doesn't matter to me. Being around my coaching staff doesn't matter to me. I just don't like it. So I know I could stay, and I know I could, win a championship, and I know it's great to be in college. So I think in her mind, it's like, hey, I'm at a great place. I'm in a great situation. Coaching staff that I have a great time with, teammates that I have a great time with. I'm living a great life, and I want to finish it off. She values things that kids her age, you hope value. If the money was $30 million, she wouldn't have valued it as much.
Who do you like in the Super Bowl?
Who do I like?
Actually, last one.
Do you care?
I do care. I'm going to watch the game closely. I'll be pulling for the Chiefs.
Thanks, Coach. Not the Italian quarterback? Oh, my God.
Not the Italian quarterback. Sorry. I'm going with the grandfather who's coaching the Chiefs, and the little defensive coordinator who used to be at UConn, who's a good friend of ours, Steve Spagnola. So I'm rooting for those guys.